Hey everyone, this is First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Brad Panovich, still in Breckenridge, but I'm getting ready to go to sleep. This will be the last update you see until probably tomorrow morning as I catch a flight to get back to Charlotte ahead of this storm system. If you saw my live shot at 6 o'clock on NBC Charlotte, puking snow right here in Breckenridge, and this is the system that's heading our way. Let me show you the water vapor loop. You can see the storm system over us now. That's dumping snow in the Carolinas. This is moving out quickly. I think people were kind of shocked by this, but remember, we had snow in the forecast for today on Sunday. We knew we'd see some flurries in here, probably a little more than we expected in the morning, but the afternoon was totally expected as this kind of unfolded exactly the way I at least saw it on Sunday. You can see the system moving out of the plains. There it is. I talked a lot about this. It was dumping snow here where I am, but now that's moving into the middle of the country, and this is going to dive down in this direction and head our way towards tomorrow night. And this really starts overnight into Friday morning. So I get a lot of questions about timing. Friday is the worst day of weather, Friday into Saturday morning. So the questions about, is Friday bad? Friday's bad everywhere. I mean, if I don't like to make decisions for people. It's just one of those things. If you're worried about any kind of icy weather, snow, whatever, anywhere in North Carolina on Friday, just don't go. I mean, just change your plans. It's that simple. But I won't make that decision for you. I just provide the information. The decision has to be made on the personal level. That's also why I'm not big on school closings, business closings. I don't know what the decision process is. If it's just a chance of snow, then cancel. If it's a chance of ice, cancel. But if you need a certain amount, then that's up to you. I really can't decide that. So just that being said, there's the system right now. And I stick with my human forecast. Everyone's caught up in model data right now. I'm not going to post a model forecast and say it's mine. Here's what I'm thinking right now. This could change tomorrow after I get more information and I see the system unfold and how it's tracking. But I think the biggest snow amounts are going to be to our north, but the icing is going to be the biggest issue around the Charlotte area. Now, honestly, this could be conservative. It certainly could be. I think a quarter inch of ice to 3/10 of an inch of ice certainly possible across Charlotte, and that will end up being the biggest issue for the Charlotte area. It's going to be ice. It doesn't mean we're not going to see snow. It just means we're going to get a mix. And for everyone asking about, well, this model says this and this model says that, remember these models don't break out the precipitation types, and they do a horrible job of detecting ice, sleet versus snow. If you make it all snow, it looks like a whole bunch of snow. But it's not going to be all snow. It's going to be a mix. And anytime you get a mix, even for a couple hours, it really shuts down the amount of snow you get. So that's why it's really tough with the totals. And you also notice the gradient. From north to south, it's from basically nothing here, or just a glazing, to epic ice storm here. That's not that far. That's 2-county difference. And you think we suck at forecasting because we can't nail down a 2-county difference. That's minuscule amount of space. So if we miss it by just a half a county, that means you get rain or you get a crippling ice storm. It's not an easy thing. It really isn't. So that's why everyone should be on guard. If you hear it's going to be all rain, or it's not going to be a big deal, or it's going to be snow, it's going to be ice, just discount it. All threats are on the table. It literally could be anything. As we get closer and it starts to fall, we'll have a better idea. So when you look at my snowfall map, again, it's probably not conservative up in this area. This is the surest part of the forecast. Big time snow. Could be as little as 6, but could be as much as 14 inches. Once you get around Charlotte, this is where it gets a little more questionable, because this is where the transition zone is between sleet, freezing rain, and snow. And depending on the amount of mixing that goes on here, it could really cut down the totals. Now, every storm is different. Please don't compare this to past storms. People are like, remember last year's storm and we said we're going to get all this snow and end up changing to rain? Yes, we also knew that was going to be a tight gradient, but this isn't a rain versus snow thing. This is a rain versus snow versus sleet versus ice. Completely different setup than last year. Last year it was either going to be rain or snow. This go around, this could be all of those precipitation types. So that's why it's a completely different setup. And that's why you see 1 to 2 inches. Could be 4 to 6 inches if it's all snow and sleet. Could be less if it's all ice. Could be a little less than that if it's all rain. So this really fine gradient, which, look, northern Mecklenburg County, 2 to 6, 1 to 2, and then even the southern part of county, you're probably talking trace to 1. That's a very small area. And so in Huntersville, you could have crippling ice and snow, and in Ballantyne be not a big deal. That's just the way this thing is tracking. I'm sorry. I wish I could make it uniform for everybody, but it's not that way. So that's the difficulty in the forecast, and really should be understood. And if you don't believe me, let's look at the Weather Service. The Weather Service is actually kind of coming to line to what I'm thinking. This is their forecast. Look at the ice, really confined from Interstate 40 down to Charlotte. 2/10 of an ice in Charlotte, 3/10 in Concord, over 3/10, almost 3,500 in Lincolnton, and 3/10. That's damaging ice from Charlotte north. Look at the snowfall forecast here. You can see 3 inches in Charlotte, 3 inches in Concord, but you get up towards Lincolnton and Lake Norman, you get closer 6, 7, 8, and then you get into the foothills, and you're talking 12, 14 inches. This is actually almost identical to my snowfall map. So earlier today, they had nothing even close to this. So it really lines up with what I had earlier right here. If you look at the two maps, they're pretty close. So if you want to compare, there you go. Government forecast agreeing with me at this point. So that's what I'm thinking. I'll show these maps again. This can change, and they absolutely will, but just know every single county in our viewing area is under a winter storm watch for a reason. It's either for snow, ice, or some mix. Those aren't issued because nothing's going to happen. So just be on guard, be prepared. You've got another 24 hours. The timing, Thursday night, 2 a.m., Friday morning, all day Friday, most of Saturday morning, and improving slowly Saturday. But Saturday could still be cold and snowy for a few spots. And for the Panthers game, big question there. Nothing's falling from the sky for the Panthers game. It's going to be clear by the time the Panthers game starts. Temperatures in probably the upper 30s and falling. Remember, the game's at 6:40. It's not during the day. It's after sunset, so it's going to get really cold. And if you're worried about travel, icy road Sunday morning, but once the sun comes up and temperatures get above freezing, I think roads will improve in the afternoon. But again, on Sunday night, we could see black ice. So a lot of moving parts. Sorry for the rant. Don't mean to be upset with anyone or angry, but a lot of things going on here. So there's a lot of bad information out there, a lot of different sources. Remember, stick with human, local information. Stay away from automated, national, non-local, and stick with a meteorologist. I mean, nobody goes to a doctor in a hotel room. Come to meteorologists in a hotel room where I am right now. So that's the latest on what this system is doing. I hope you have a great night. I'll update tomorrow morning if things change, and you'll see me on the air starting tomorrow night on NBC Charlotte. Hope you have a great night, and please be safe and stay weather aware.